Oh, you're welcome. It's brand new, so you might have to scribble first. Oh, that's what I like. Here's 20. Sharon's tickets but she said there was one extra that didn't fit with the 3. But I'm short one, so if you want me, because I'm coming up with 2 stubs. That's fine. I think I might give everybody an extra one.
2013, so. I was counting mine up there. I was in.
It all works out.
Yeah, I was working part-time and they were always letting me out once in a while. And then they were.
That was a silent, quiet little thing. Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon. Glad to see some other people starting to come and join with us again. So Carol, if you would honor us with a prayer, please.
Would you pray with me, please? Good and gracious Father, there are so many things that we need to be thankful for. And so we lift all of the blessings that you have given to us, for it is beyond our ability to be able to name them all. We thank you, Lord, for this organization, and we thank you for the fact that we are now allowed to once again socialize and be with friends and perhaps renew friendships and acquaintances. For we know, Lord, that it is in sharing together with one another. That is your way, and that's what you would have us do. We thank you for the people that have prepared this food. We bless the hands that prepared it. And we bless the food to the nourishment of our bodies. We ask, Lord, that you be with each and every one as he or she chooses the time to return to the group. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you'll join me in the saying of the 4-way test of the things we think, say, or do.
First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you. And I do have a guest with me today, my niece Darby. She is working with me over at the bank again this summer, and I told her she could come in. She's the one that supplies the eggs that I bring. She's half owner of all of the chickens. She just graduated.
You and all your hard work.
She just graduated from Cameron this year. She's going to be starting at Northern in the radiography program. I want to say radiology, it's radiography. So I'm happy to have her with me this summer again. Okay, the fundraiser, everybody should have their tickets. I believe most of them, they were all mailed out. I know some people have contacted, they're on second rounds of tickets. Ashley, I'm sorry, you just put something.
You're fine, I get you quick, you're good.
Go ahead.
I'm good.
I think what we were gonna do, Ashley, if we wanna turn everything into you, she's gonna keep track of ticket stubs. The money will go to Josh. So that way we're sure where they're gonna go. Do you have anything else to add to the fundraiser?
No, I think we're pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
I just appreciate everybody's help. I think we've been selling pretty well.
Yeah, I think it's going really well. The t-shirts are ordered, so they are in the process. The end of the year picnic, the RSVPs are coming in. We're up to, I believe, 19 total now people.
Great.
And I did send, is everyone getting the emails to see what, okay, all right. And we've not had any duplicates so far. So we've got pasta salad, a vegetable of some sort. Sharon said she is not able to think of food at this time. She's still under the weather. So she said that's the furthest thing from her mind is food. Fruit plate, deviled eggs, jello, zucchini bread, cake or a dessert, veggie tray, most possibly brownies for dessert, baked beans, and the pistachio Watergate salad. I don't know what everybody calls
I
it.
love that thing.
And that is at Shelter 2 at Grandview, June 30th. And we're gonna do our drawing that evening. Now, did we decide, I know we talked the one day, are we having a meeting that day? We're not, we're just gonna meet. Okay, I need to put that in email too, so everyone knows. Okay, the assembly at Flatwoods, Sharon sent me some information on that. She wondered if we had talked about it yet, and I told her we did discuss it last week. So far, Ashley is definitely going. Bonnie, I think, had said that she would be
Maybe.
able to go with you.
Maybe.
Cody
Cody was a
was
maybe, and
maybe
Brianna. So
Right. Okay.
I'm hoping those maybes turn into yeses.
I'm going to be out of town with my other niece and her baby and husband. So those plans had already been made, or I went with you.
That's quite all right. And for anybody that wasn't here last week, I'm just driving down for the Saturday event. It's June 26th. It does start registrations between 8:30 and 9. So we could meet like in a Wheeling around 6 a.m. I'm willing to drive if anybody wants to ride with me. I have a third row, so I still have room for 4 more people that would like to come.
Did you happen to talk, was she going to reach out to Brittany and Shelley about the grant? Because Sharon said if we are applying for grants, someone has to be at the grant.
So I will go to the grant thing. I do not write grants. Shelley said that she will write them as long as I attend.
Okay. That sounds perfect. Okay, pretty short meeting today, but we do have a guest speaker with us. So I'm not sure if everyone has received this yet about the Rotary International Convention next year in Houston, Texas. It's on June 4th to 8th. So and there's an early bird registration deal if you get registered between June 12th and 16th of this year. It's a savings of $250. So if anyone's interested in that and didn't get the email, let me know and I can forward that on. Was there anything, Ashley, go ahead.
I was just going to let everybody know, I had the opportunity to go down to Well Springs, down off of First Street. That is one of our big fundraisers that we support. We do shopping for them quarterly for baby supplies. If you haven't had the opportunity, I'm going to be honest, I was very ignorant to what Well Springs was until I went down there to meet with them. I was completely blown away by what they are doing for this community. So just to sum it up real briefly, they, all you have to have is a positive pregnancy test. They are there to support you throughout anything, whatever your wishes might be. If you want to go through adoption, if you want to have the child, they have classes to teach you. But they give out free, no questions asked, maternity clothes, and then preemie clothes in 0 to 3 months, car seats, cribs. It's unbelievable what these women are doing for our community. It's ran through the church right there off of First Street. And I just did our second quarter shopping spree and bought a ton of formula. I don't know. I don't have little ones, so I was shocked by the price of formula. Anybody that has kids knows. So I purchased about 20 cans of formula, and that rate alone was over $400. Lots of Pampers, and then she shared with me certain onesies or boys' little shorts. So that will all be delivered this week. And I just welcome anybody, if you haven't had the opportunity to go down and talk with them, I would love to go with you. It's just a beautiful thing they're doing for our community.
That is one of the things that our grant, I know we usually write a yearly grant for that. So, and it's amazing. I got to go a couple of times last year and meet the women and stuff down there. So it's a very good organization. Anybody else have anything? The virtual world was kind of slow this week and a lot out there. the assembly, it does say that they're going to be recognizing the new district governor, and he was with Sean here, that Coop, David Cooper, and they call him, he goes by Coop. So they will be, and the theme is Let's Rock Rotary, serve to change lives. So if anyone is interested and can go with Ashley, just get in touch with her. Got anything before we turn it over to our speaker? Okay, Mr. Healy, are you ready? This is Rick Healy, he is the city manager of Moundsville, so we will let him have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you. She's not used to applause. Okay? So I see we have somebody joining virtually, so welcome everyone, and thanks for having me. I look back, I spoke to this group in November of 2019, and I think it was a few more people, and I was stationed up here, and you all were out in this area, and I think you ushered me out because I talked too long. And so when Brianna asked me if I would come back, I thought, well, either they like me or they really can't find anybody to talk. So either way, I don't really care. I'm here. I'll take any opportunity I can to talk about Moundsville and the things we're doing. We've got a lot of exciting projects that are ongoing, and I want to fill you in on those things as well. So I will try to keep my presentation a little bit shorter. And if I do drag on, you can start the music and I'll actually find myself. So at that November meeting, little did we know, that 4 months later, we would be dealing with something called the coronavirus. Wow, how things changed from that November meeting to March. Things like gloves and masks and pick up your Kroger orders that we never did all started happening. Daily calls with Mr. Cook happened in my office. Tom and I have been friends since we were kids, and I think we talked more during the COVID pandemic than we probably did all the time we were friends. But Tom was a real asset to the community through that. I think in the future, parents and their grandparents will be telling their kids about that time in 2020 when we couldn't see our kids and parents. For remember, it was going to be 2 weeks, and that changed. And so it was an interesting year, and all the building blocks that the city started in 2019, we didn't get an opportunity to build on those in 2020. So that's it about the coronavirus for the most part. I refuse to spend a lot of time talking about the negatives. We know there were plenty. So we weathered the storm pretty well. I'm going to look ahead and try to stay positive, and regardless of the difficulties and the problems that we had, City Council and I were forced to keep Moundsville moving during the pandemic and stay the course, and we did a good job of that. So let's talk about money first. I presented the budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2021 to Council in February. It was approved with revenues expected at over $14 million. That budget allowed for a 3% across the board raise for our employees and does maintain the excellent benefit package that we offer to our employees. Because of COVID, I was able to request reimbursement for our police and fire salaries that were paid during a portion of 2020. That was paid from the governor's office with CARES Act funding. That amount stands at approximately $1.4 million that we were able to get back in reimbursement. More recently, we were informed that we will be receiving funds directly from the federal government as part of the American Rescue Plan. That amount, based on population, is $3.6 million. And that's the first time that money has been directly allotted or allocated, I should say, to individual municipalities and states from the federal government. We'll get a half of that this year and another half next year, and all funds have to be spent by the end of 2024. We're having a manager's workshop tomorrow night with council to talk about possible ways to utilize these once-in-a-lifetime funds. The guidelines are real defined. Infrastructure project, direct assistance to residents and businesses that were affected by COVID are a couple of the main ways to utilize the funds. As for our current budget, which ends on June 30th, I'm proud to say that nearly every department is under their budget, and our overall revenues are higher than we projected, and our expenditures are lower than we projected. So that's a great thing. And that's a testament to my department heads and our employees for being observant from a fiscal standpoint. So on to what is the biggest project that the city of Moundsville has ever undertaken, and without question, the boldest project that will happen during my tenure as city manager. And that, of course, is the new municipal public safety building. And today's Intelligencer was a bid advertisement for the construction of the building. The building plans call for a 3-level, 2-story with a basement, approximately 26,000 square foot building to house our city offices, our police department, and our fire department. In addition to those departments, the water billing office will also remain in the building. The budget for this building is approximately $8 million. Now, there is concern with the current rise in building materials that we may exceed that budget, and we've been monitoring that very closely. When I say monitoring, we're crossing our fingers and saying prayers that the bids can be good. But $8 million, it's a lot of money. It truly is. And some people think it's too much for the city to spend for a building. You know, we took the property that we owned. We did purchase one building to make our lot rectangular. And so we designed our building to fit in our current footprint, which saved us money. This is going to be a beautiful structure, and I walked out without the picture of it. I had it on my desk, I walked out without it, but if anyone wants to see it, let me know, and I'd be happy to email it to you. But it's a beautiful structure, and it's going to be a great addition to Moundsville. But it's not loaded with excessive amenities. You know, we didn't pull the state Supreme Court method of buying our furniture and the inlaid floors. It's going to be very nice, but it's going to be functional. $8 million is a lot of money, but it adds up quickly when you're building a large building such as that. We're going to be very proud of it. Because the debt service will be paid by the 1% sales tax proceeds, there is not a truly direct cost to the residents. There's going to be no increase in taxes. There's no user fees implemented for residents or workers. It's going to be paid solely by part of the proceeds of our 1% municipal sales tax, which is a tax that is only derived if you buy something in Moundsville. And that helps us immensely because we have people from Shadyside that come over in St. Clairsville and New Martinsville and all over. And when they spend their money in Moundsville, that helps us. We are truly outgrowing, or let me rephrase it, we have truly outgrown our existing offices. Our maintenance costs continue to escalate, especially in the police department building. The easternmost corner of our current building was constructed pre-1900. There's been 2 additions since then and 1 second floor removal since then. Bringing all of us under one roof will allow for better management of people, but also easier access for residents and businesses. This new building is designed for technology, efficiency, and to make life easier for not only our employees, but anyone that does business with the city. It's going to include a drive-through pay window that will accept all city utility payments. And ironically, that was one of the very first things we said we wanted. We wanted a drive-through because we have so many people that park out back, come in, and they're in the building for 30 seconds to drop off their payment. As our population continues to age, I turned 60 yesterday, so I'll be using drive-throughs all the time. We felt like that was a really big asset to this building. It also created the most of our problems because it dictated how our building had to sit. It dictated where we were going to pull in, where we were going to pull out. The very first meeting we had with our architect, he said, your drive-through window is going to be your biggest problem. And he was right, it has been. But we stayed the course with it, and we will have a drive-through window for payments. It'll have an expanded council chamber, expanded lobby, and a lot more storage space. All office staff members will now have their own offices, moving out of dated cubicles that have been in there for, I don't know, 40 years maybe. The police department's going to have a much, much more secure setup. They'll have a sally port. Never heard of the word sally port before, but it's basically a garage that allows policemen to pull in with their cruiser and securely process somebody all in one location. Fire department will still exit their emergency vehicles onto 6th Street, but the architectural gem of the building is the hose tower. Those towers were common years ago in firehouses, and they become symbolic. So ours will have a hose tower in it, not a functioning hose tower, of course, but a hose tower. The building's going to be energy efficient. We'll have sanitary fixtures, motion sensor lights, no-touch faucets, things like that, which all came about over the last year as well. Bids are going to be open on July 8th, and once again, we're keeping our fingers crossed for a good bid. We expect about a 1-year time for construction. So late 2022, we hope we're going to be opening our new building. Another project that's ongoing is our splash pad. If you've been out by Four Seasons Pool, you've seen some construction out there. This is probably more exciting than the city building because it's colorful and the water flows and it's fun and it's really going to benefit our kids. We took about a 4,000 square foot area that used to house a baby pool that hasn't worked for years and some grass area. And now it's going to be, soon it will be home to a rainforest, a capsizer, numerous leaf sprays, mini foam geysers, water tiaras, triple arches, and more. A nice little area will be an approximate 20-foot length with Adirondack chairs for adults to relax while they're watching their kids or grandkids, and there will be water bubblers at their feet so they can keep their feet cool while they're watching. Those will be highly sought after, I'm sure. This is just a beginning with thoughts of private splash pad birthday parties, toddler only hours, splash pad under the lights. Somebody said the other night, can you do alcohol and do adult splash pad parties? I don't know, probably not, but it's an idea. I mean, it's something to think about. But the list goes on, and we expect this to bring people from all over, not just Moundsville. We want to make sure our Moundsville residents have advantage of it, but people come from Shady Side to use our pool regularly. Maybe they stop at Varsity and order pizza. Maybe they come up here and get lunch. Maybe they get gas somewhere. So it continues to just roll. Staying in recreation, Four Seasons Pool recently created a major bathroom rehab project. That included completely gutting the men's and women's restrooms, installing updates, making them fully accessible. And it was funded in part by a land and water conservation grant that we received for almost $155,000. We continue to improve the whole East End complex. The addition of a paved walking trail from 4th Street to the playground area last year has been an extremely well-received addition. Walkers of all ages are seen on the trail from early morning to late evening. We recently paved the area around the playground using funds we received from an Active West Virginia mini grant. Next week, we've coordinated the painting of activity markers on this blacktop through the West Virginia Extension Office. So this adds another level of activity for the kids at the playground. Both of the ball fields have new outfield fences and backstops. The dirt infields are in the best shape they've been in many years. We recently received a donation from a group of current and former Moundsville residents called the Boys of Summer. They gave us over $5,700 to be used at our discretion at East End. We talked to them about electronic scoreboards, which was kind of our hope to have happen there, and they wholeheartedly endorsed that. So we now have a couple of private donations go along with that, and hopefully by next year we'll have electronic scoreboards at both of the baseball fields at East End. We may even have one done this fall for flag football, but we'll see. So that's another thing we're excited about too. All in the really effort to bring things up to date that had been neglected for a long time and bring people in. The Beast of the East tournament, we would like to attract a portion of that to East End within the next couple of years, because we all know how many people that brings in. We're close to ordering hillside slides that will mount directly into the hillside above the playground, offering something nobody else has. Now, our improvements are not without problems. We've had a lot of problems let me rephrase it. We've had some problems this spring with some middle school age kids causing some damage, running out smaller kids at the playground. had some bad language issues. We're not going to stand for it. We're not going to allow it to happen, but it's a tough battle. The kids need somewhere to go and they need something to do as well. We're not giving up. We've tried to hire park monitors, which I wanted to call park rangers, but I was afraid they want guns and badges or something. So we call them park monitors. We didn't even get any applications. Not unlike a lot of people, I understand. I authorized overtime for our police department to spend 3 evenings a week off duty, overtime at the playground, and we couldn't get officers to sign up. So we're not giving up. I get discouraged about that, but my wife's my biggest supporter, and she always says, you can't give up. You've come too far. You got to keep going. So the police are circling and patrolling in East End more, and we hope that will help us curtail some of that. Now, we have 21 cameras in place throughout East End and in the pool. And those cameras have been successful in identifying mostly juveniles that have caused some damage. Some of those have been taken to juvenile court and forced to repay for the damage. That's been relatively successful. We've also banned some others from the park. This is a downer part of my presentation, but it is in fact. And if anybody has ideas, call me. We don't know what to do. We're truly stymied by this one. Our hope is that we could eventually have cameras in all of our parks within the next couple of years. So more than just East End, our Parks and Recreation Department includes Riverfront Park, Parkview Playground, the 12th Street ball fields, both boys and girls, the 12th Street Walking Trail, and of course the East End Complex. This summer, jumping back into programming after being off of a year, we're going to be hosting a basketball tournament starting next Monday, a baseball, softball youth camp, and a volleyball camp in August. Those are all programs we're going to be doing this summer, all at either no cost or very, very low cost. Moundsville instituted the 1% municipal sales tax that I referred to earlier. That continues to be a great vehicle to make large and much needed improvements throughout the city. Paving, demolition, parks and rec, public safety, public works, arts and culture, technology, recycling are all areas that benefit from that tax. But the largest portion over the next number of years will be going to the aforementioned municipal building. Another area that I've put a lot of emphasis on has been dilapidated structures and nuisance problems. Nuisance problems like high grass, junk cars, excessive garbage. We've implemented a program that allows the building inspectors to issue a warning to violators and then a citation if needed within a much shorter time than previously needed. I think when I spoke to you before, we were working on that. We took a process that was this long and we've got it down to here. So it's working with some success, but the true jury isn't in on it yet. I'm not sure it's going to solve everything, but it is helping. They can pay the fines or they can not pay the fines, but they still aren't forced to clean up the problem. And that's what we want, is the problem cleaned up. The fines are great, but the fines they're not a major source of revenue for the city. So if we get $100 because somebody got fined for a junk vehicle, I really just want the junk vehicle out. Take the $100, pay a wreck truck, and get it towed out. But we're working on that. We're not giving up on that either. We have currently, building department staff currently has about 200 cases of these, all at different stages right now. A few years ago, we received a technical assistance grant to establish a bad buildings program. We had a volunteer group survey the entire city. We actually rated every residential structure in the city. And that became the basis for our demolition program. Again, funded by a portion of that 1% sales tax, that building's been successful in taking down certain menace properties. Just this past Monday, Mayor David Wood and I participated in a virtual award ceremony with Governor Justice, and we were successful in receiving a community development block grant of $112,000 to pay for the demolition of 6 more properties, with the city matching to pay for 2 more. So 8 more properties around the city will be bid for demo later this year. Demolition isn't always the answer, but the removal of these properties is important to the safety, the beauty, and the sense of pride in our neighborhoods. Just last week, City Council approved a bid for the 2021 street paving program of over $675,000. This year, we're going to pave sections of 11 streets. And again, partially by the 1% sales tax and the other part by the municipal fee. Over the last 3 years, close to $1.7 million has been expended on paving. We were really far behind on our paving, but we're getting caught up. And I can't help but say, social media, the city gets blasted regularly because of the condition of First Street. If you don't know, First Street's a US route. It's US Route 250 and is maintained by the state of West Virginia. So the city has no control over paving First Street. The good news is it's going to be done this year. They're going to be bidding it out in June and hope to have it completed in the fall. Public Works Department continues to be a strong department doing street and alley repair, snow removal, grass cutting, and really anything else that we need. Our Public Works Director, Frank Stockless, says that our job is to make the city pretty, and they do a really good job at that. In our sanitation department, we haul approximately 36 tons of garbage to the landfill every day out of Moundsville, and that continues to increase. One way to help counteract that is by recycling. In July of 2020, we were awarded a grant from the West Virginia DEP to initiate a recycling program to begin in 2021. And I'm very proud to say that on April 17th, we opened a recycling center that accepts mixed papers and cardboard. The center is located at the sanitation complex, and for now it's open every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to noon. After the first 8 Saturdays, we filled one 30-yard dumpster. So we have a part-time recycling coordinator to oversee it. And one of the things I've asked him to do is to research other recycling options. We need to find ways that we can help people with plastics, glass, and metals, and tires, and paint, and things like that. We're going to work on all of those things. But for now, we're happy with mixed papers and cardboard. And we feel like that's a real help to us. We can talk about all the green aspect of that, how great it is that it's not one in the landfill, and it is great. Our kids, grandkids, they have to deal with all of that. At some point, we're going to run out of room. But we think about the cost perspective also. That's that much that doesn't go into our trucks every day that we have to pay to get dumped. So it's a good thing all around, and we're happy about that. Our Arts and Culture Committee is now a full-fledged commission, and they've added some additional members. This will allow them to expand their programs and offerings. The ultra-successful Jefferson Friday, which was held in September of 2019 on Jefferson Avenue, included music, food trucks, a beer garden, and a lot of people packed into a 2-block area. Is going to make a comeback this year. Similar events are planned for August, September, and October of this year on Jefferson Avenue with Mr. Cook's blessing, I might add. Other 2021 events include a Shakespeare in the Park event at Riverfront, an Appalachian cookbook, among some other things. So in 3 short years, this committee and now commission has sponsored things like outdoor movie nights, pumpkin painting events, holiday events, with everything being free of charge. So we're really trying to bring our community together and bring them out without making them pay for things. So I'm doing pretty good. As for me, I've got about 2.5 years now under my belt as city manager, and I still have people look at me and say, what were you thinking when you took that job? And I do answer the same way all the time, and it is an honest, true answer that I love the job. It's a challenge, don't get me wrong, but Moundsville's in a good place right now. It takes a vision, it takes a supporting council, it takes department heads who buy into my vision, and it takes great employees to make it all happen, and I have every one of those things. I manage over 80 employees throughout the city, and another 30 compile the water and sanitary departments. And every one of those cities work every day to make your city safer, cleaner, productive, and to increase the quality of life. 2020 stymied one of my own goals when I took the job, and that was to be a visible city manager. I didn't get to see a lot of people last year, like none of us did. I needed out of my office, so this is great, and I very much appreciate the offer. I love doing these kind of events. I love speaking and telling people about Moundsville. This is a great community. I'm gonna go back to social media just a second. Unfortunately, we all know much information is spread by it, and much of that is incorrect. Just last night, I got home after a full day at work and council subcommittee meetings, and I was telling these folks that my wife tapped me on the leg and said, "So you're 60 now?" And I said, "Man, I guess I am." And it kind of hit me. Well, she's on her phone and she said, "Oh, I just got a Facebook message from a good friend of ours. Wants to know if you're okay." And I said, "Yeah, I'm okay. I thought maybe they knew I was 60 and, getting old. I don't know." Well, come to find out that apparently somebody posted on Facebook that Moundsville was looking for a city manager. I got to work this morning early. I got there about 6:30. My key unlocked the door and my nameplate was still on the door. So I went in and sat down, and I think I'm safer now. It may have been an adversary stirring the pot. I don't know. Maybe they think I'm too. I don't know what it is. But social media has its ups and downs. We all know that. My goal of changing negativity into positivity continues. Again, slowed down a little bit in 2020. Social media, love it or not, it plays a big role in what we do now. It plays a big role in what the city does. We have a very good website. We have a very active Facebook page. And I do a lot of personal posts on my page about things Moundsville's doing with the hashtag Moundsville Proud. When you look at that Moundsville Proud hashtag and you see how often it's shared and where it goes, it makes me feel good to know that it's going out there and people are hearing it. So suffice to say, I love this community. We're paving streets, we're updating recreation opportunities, we're providing cultural opportunities, we're improving our buildings, we're cleaning up the city, we're being fiscally smart, and in general, I think we're doing a good job serving people. Our school system is sending weekly food boxes to their students. My grandson is at Disney this week, and we had to go pick up the box off of his porch that was filled with food for the week, and I guess they're going to supply those every week. We've partnered with the Marshall County FRN to have drive-through food events the last couple of years. So, how can you not love this community with what we do? So, with that, I very much appreciate the opportunity to speak. I will speak whenever you would like. I hope I've met your expectations, and I would be more than happy to answer some questions because I think I got a few minutes. So if anybody has any about my presentation or anything about the city, I'd be more than happy to try to answer. Lynn, I knew you would.
I do not have a question, but I have a comment.
Yes.
I would like to say Mr. John White is doing such an excellent job. I think he was the smartest move the city made when they hired him, Parks and Recreation. He's a go-getter and he gives it 110%. And I would just like to let you know that we appreciate it. We appreciate, if you let him know, we appreciate it.
I will do that. Thank you. When I was on the job about 2 months, when my Parks and Rec director came to me and said, "I'm leaving." And I thought, oh, come on. I didn't want to have to hire a department head in my first 6 months. But John was a personal friend and had known him for years. And when he came in to talk to me about the opportunity, because he was retired. He retired young. He was retired and was really enjoying life. He was golfing a little bit. I kind of shared my vision for what I wanted to do with the city. And he was telling me some ideas he had, and it just meshed. It was a perfect fit. And he has been a great hire. He has. We've been fortunate. We've been able to spend a lot of money in recreation. It takes a lot of money in recreation, and you don't get anything back from it. I mean, we don't make money anywhere in the city, but we sure don't make it in recreation. Our pool goes strong. We put a lot of money into it the last couple of years, or the last few years, bless you. But we don't get that back. You collect a couple bucks when somebody comes in to swim, but that doesn't add up. So John's done a great job, and he has so many ideas that he'll call me sometimes, and I'm like, I don't want to take the call because I don't have time for you. But in truly, he and I sit down and talk a lot, and sometimes off the job, and we've got much, much more coming. Much, much more coming that I didn't talk about. So stay tuned for all that. But I will pass that on.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else? Sure. Yes.
Your 1% came from home.
Correct. Yeah. When the city was approved for home rule in 2015, one of the first things they did was implement the 1% municipal sales tax. And truly, folks, that's been a godsend to Moundsville. It's allowed us to do things that we otherwise would not be able to do. So we're very happy. It is, yeah. It's going to be located in the same location, but a little further eastern towards Jefferson. So we're going to have to actually demo. I had that in here and I skipped over. We're going to have to demo a little portion of our building so they can build it. So we have to relocate our building inspectors and our fire department for the year of construction. They're going to our sanitation facility that's down by the old Kittle, or on the old Kittles property. So they'll be moving down there during that period. We were able to do that in-house, and we had a building that had space, and we thought we were going to have to rent trailers and stuff, but we're able to do it all there. So it's limited expense getting it ready, but so then they'll demo that part of the building, build the new building. We'll all move in, they'll demo the rest of the building and make it a park.
So the property purchase, was it on Jefferson?
Jefferson and 6th.
Attorneys?
Yes, it was the Wilson Law Office. Yeah, we bought that property and demoed the property, and our building will actually, the entrance to our building actually will be located about where his back door was, not on the corner, but facing that way. And that's where the drive-through will be. It'll be along that area. All right. Well, thank you very much. Comments, complaints, concerns, call anytime. I don't like the phrase open door, but I do have an open door policy, so call or come in. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Stacy.
Does anyone have anything else for the good of the club? All right, guys, I guess meeting's adjourned.
All right.
Good to see you back.
Have a wonderful day, Brianna. Thank you, you too.